Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Redstone tutorial. In this video I'm not going to necessarily be showing you how to, but I'm going to be explaining how Redstone. I've done it before with the super smelter. I didn't build it with you, I built it and then explained how it works. So this is what I'm going to be doing. It's more of a show and tell kind of thing. So first things first, I'm going to just show you basically what happens. So this is what what is called a button selector panel. In this case I'm using levers just to show you, and this is our 7-segment display. Now what we can do is, here I have a lever, I flick it, and it shows 1. And flick it. There's a little bit of lag on this world, so I really don't know why, but I want to flick that. Oh, it's really laggy, and it shows 2. Now we can unflick it and it shows 3. This works with all of them. I don't need to go through, but like here, look, this is 8. It will show 8. But that's basically what it is. Now, in order to show you how I've got them broken up into different things. So this right here is how a 7-segment display works. So you basically have each of these are 7 segments. So you have the red, yellow, purple, pink, green, orange, and blue, and they each represent one of the segments. Now the red segment is this 3, yellow is this 3, pink is this 3, or green is this 3, orange is this 3, and you see the overlap, and it's kind of here. So you power the middle block, but as you can see these are overlap. Now even if I turn this off, this one will always be displayed. That's why it's kind of called 7 segments, because if you wanted more, these wouldn't overlap. But yeah, that's kind of how that works. So you have the 7 inputs here, and they overlap, and there's obviously some things can't be unpowered, so each of the corners will always be powered effectively. If you do these two, the corner will, you can't unpower the corner. That's how that works. Now the main logic behind it is this. What this is called a decoder. It's really, it's kind of, I say it's simple, it's really not, but it's a similar thing that we had before. So we press 1 and it lights up 1, press 2 and it lights up 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now how it works is all these comparators are on subtract mode, and basically what they're looking for is they're looking for this to be higher than this, technically higher than all of these because they're all connected. So what it would do is it would look for the source of power, so basically the higher source. So on this row, this one may give a signal strength of like 13. Now over here it's giving a signal strength of, so this is 13, this will be 12. So when this is 13, 12, 11, this one will only be giving, I think, 9, so this will only be 9. So this one will power. Now none of these are higher than that, so that will power. Whereas when we have 5, they're all got strong signal strengths than here, so this is higher than this, all of these, so they're all power. But when we only have 1, like over here, this line's going to be stronger than any of the other lines, so it only does this one on. And that's basically what we have in this jumble of mess here. Each of these redstone torches aligned to one segment, so these outputs are all the segment, and each of these are just coding for one segment. Now we have 1 to 5 here, and then we have 4 to 9 down here, which basically is the massive decoder that, well, how it works. I mean, I think that's probably really confusing, and this has probably confused you more than anything, but what it basically is, I'm trying to think of another way to explain it. I'm trying to think of a way to explain it. If I go back over here, I can maybe explain it a little bit better. I realize this is really complicated. So I think if I use it, these two, for example. So this is 5. So when we turn 5 on, they all power on. And now this is because each of these signal strengths are higher than all of the other ones, so it basically powers on. Now if I power it back on, it will turn these off and depower. But if I go over and let's say break number 1, as you can see, only this one's powered, and you can actually see it visibly. Look, all of these redstone dusts are less than this one. So this one powers, none of these don't. And that's the beauty of subtract mode. And recently I did a video on how a comparator works, and if you watch that video you'll understand why now I'm doing this, because it explains how subtract mode works and it makes this make more sense. So my recommendation is, if you're watching this, go back and watch that, because it may make subtract mode make sense. But it's basically, this is really simple, this is really complex. This one's not much more complex than that, it's just a lot more going on. And here is our 9-button selector panel. We're basically taking output from each of these, separating them into weird cables and then powering each there. It's like spaghetti. I don't normally do redstone like this because it always annoys me there, which is why I've coloured them, because I think even though it's a jumbled mess, the colours make it look a little bit more proper, but it's basically the easiest way to do it. Does that make sense, everyone? Let me know in the comments if that made sense. If it doesn't, maybe watch it a couple times, because I mean, I think it makes sense to explain it. You're getting each of these outputs on subtract mode, you're alternating them like so, and then you've got each of these basically ignore all of this and just think about it. The redstone torch that aligns with the comparator is basically, each redstone torch aligns with the comparator. If you want them all on, there needs to be a redstone torch in there, and basically you put a redstone torch where you want the comparator to be turned on. There we go, that made so much more sense with playing it that way. But yeah, and then you get this really cool system here where you can maybe go, oh look, I want 5. Now you can hook this up to multiple ones, so you could have maybe like 45, or there you can actually add a 0 to it, which you just add an extra column maybe here or here. I was just too lazy to do that. But I do hope you've all enjoyed this episode, ladies and gentlemen. If you have, hit the like button and subscribe. If you want more redstone tutorials, check out the redstone tutorial playlist. Got a lot on there. If you haven't already, turn on notification bells for all future ones that I upload. And if you want to comment on a redstone tutorial, I'm more than happy to do them. This redstone testing world's massive. There's so many contraptions here of builds and farms. So if you want a tutorial, just let it know in the comments, and I'll get that done as soon as possible. But I want to thank you for watching. I'll catch you all later. See ya.